tall, so not the biggest barbarian, but I'm jacked.
It's a hair and braids.
We could put our parents in braids.
Let's if we put this in two braids and then we wrapped it around and then we gave them the flowers sticking together. And then what if we did this?
May I have another drink, please?
Yes, you may. And he goes over.
Put your hands up, it's better!
No. Save your body, Constitution, saving throw.
Yes, you, I'm gonna fight you.
He's sort of you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Goggles.
You're
Dr.
Mole.
Robot. Dr. Robot.
What do you do?
Take a moment to try to stop laughing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one.
Why not? It worked again.
Hating on Batman.
And I don't hate Batman, for the record. I hate the fandom of Batman.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's the
that's
issue.
way more people.
It is. It's a
hate.
lot, like actual human beings.
Were you gonna?
You need to rub this crap off your neck and not smell like me. Or Wolf at all. Just start rubbing his neck and just getting like...
I am fairly
urine.
certain it doesn't matter what I smell like at this point.
To a feline, you have wolf's piss on you.
I'm just gonna point at my feline eyes.
I have some time.
You've just tuned in. We had the brilliant idea while we were fishing at the Dark Moon Festival.
Oh, jeez.
To do a dungeon with fishing poles equipped. Because why not? And so we drank all of the alcohol in our bags, and we equipped our fishing poles and our aquatic pets, and we went to do a dungeon.
I feel like I need to close out. So this was the end of our epic tale. What holds for next week as the heroes set sail? We may find more family, we may find where things start. All we know is to follow our heart. So our heroes set forth to pillage and to wander in the magical continent of wonder. We have one more question, I hope to not blunder. Question for you, dear friends. Do you wonder? Thank you guys. Indigo Connect. Hello, everybody! Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Thursday night. We are finally back at the Lost Isle. And Rin Cake just followed us. Thank you so much, Rin Cake, for tuning in.
Erin.
Hi. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It is our mixture of D&D and sci-fi and all sorts of cool stuff that we like to mix together. So we have a few announcements before we get started with tonight's game. You are always welcome to hang out with us on the Discord. The Murr. That was really cute.
That me.
That's you. You can hang out with us on the Discord and come and hang out and talk and chat. And I have a play-by post that I'm running that is set in the Wild Weird West, and I'm having a blast. I hope the players are as well. And I get to play around as Remy, a cowboy. But there's all sorts of weird folks that make their way into the Stone's Throw. So you can do that. There's an inspiration channel. There's also homebrew channels if you're a player like us and you're looking for interesting items and things of that sort. So check us out. We also have a merch store where you can support the channel. You can buy t-shirts, you can buy mugs. Not only do we have where you can buy physical goods, but we also have an online store where you can buy digital items to up your avatar. Tonight's item up for sale is Gary's Dungeon Master Guide. The guide that he used for you, some of you old school D&D players are going to recognize the cover of this almost immediately as you look at that book. This book is going to act as a luck point, as with Gary's tutelage you are able to change one roll and one roll only throughout the game if any of the players in any of my campaigns purchase it, but it is a way to support the channel. So Gary's guidebook that has been passed down to his son. So we will talk more about that in tonight's episode. The schedule for this upcoming week. I have a one-shot coming up on Monday. Friday is Never. We're going back to Neverland as we dive into the tribe mythos. There's some very cool stuff coming down the pipeline. It'll be a good chance to dive deep into Neverland and learn about Des Bahai's people. So tune into that on Friday. On the next upcoming thing is Monday. I've got a one-shot. T.E. Graves, who is a good friend of the channel, is celebrating her birthday, and she's playing D&D. And we're very excited to have her play D&D. She commented on a post. She's like, I don't have any D&D stories because I don't get to play. And I was like, well, we're changing that. So tune in for a very cool one-shot where in the Indigo verse, we start in Neverland, but we don't end there. A new world is opening up. We also have a brand new homebrewed class of Keyblade Master, as Lewis is playing a Kingdom Hearts sort of reskin of the fighter class. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Tune in on Monday for that. And T.E. Graves gets to play D&D. We're very excited. On Tuesday, we go back to Wonderland, where things are going great for everyone, and no one makes bad decisions ever, and everyone is happy all the time, and they don't betray their friends thinking they were doing the right thing. So everything is great. Tune in for another higher level game on Tuesday nights. Hey, GM Cross. Welcome, dude. That's on Tuesday. And then Thursday night, we cycle back around to Isle of Time, the Lost Isle. And if you look and pay attention to that stream starting soon screen, you would have seen the teaser for the next arc, which is Titanic. So thank you so much for everybody that has been helping out and hanging out with us on the channel. So once upon a time, with the Lost Isle, this group of adventurers who had discovered that they were not just players in a Dungeons & Dragons game, but they were actually heroes that had been training throughout all of these sessions to take on the mantle of the characters they created for their game. These heroes made their way to Salem, Massachusetts during the witch trials. They encountered an odd set of events that took place with some fey creatures that were setting up a magic circle around the town of Salem and hoping to affect change in a kind of a negative way. They had also unleashed a terrible beast, a shadow beast, upon the people of Salem in order to protect themselves and their people. The group actually managed to circumnavigate this experience, asking the Fae to just wait and see if they could handle it by returning the heart of the people back to the Fae. The group, through a strange series of events, managed to defuse some traps and set off some traps and managed to encounter an individual who was not all that he appeared to be, utilizing these magics to turn the people of this small town against the heroes. However, they prevailed, and in the process created the Eladrin, as this whole town had a little bit of the Fey Wild instilled within them, and sure enough, the Eladrin were created. Now, that's everything that happened in the past episode. You return back to the island. Independently, I had each of you roll dice, percentile dice, to see if any of you were affected. Setting a small group to think, how hard would it be to be a part of this small group of people that was just descended from the Eladrin, thinking that nobody would hit it. Jay, do you remember what your percentile dice was?
I think it was a 7.
It was a 7. It was a 7 on the dot. As you return back to the island, your esteemed DM, the uber handsome and talented William McCoy, William is whisked away as he is taken before the council for mission de-prep, as it were, as he gives a full-on account of everything that you guys encountered. When that happens, Jay, you step foot on the island and you notice something odd beneath your feet. As you step on the island itself and you feel the island firm beneath you, there is a slight tinge to the air, as if things get just a little cold for a second. You shiver, and it's almost like that feeling you get when the hairs on the back of your arm stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And as you step on the island, you all notice that Jay looks a little different than when he started. I mean, he still looks big and burly, and he still has all of his weapons. And as you step foot on the island, all of your disguises fade away, but Jay has a tinge of blue to his skin that wasn't there before. He's still green, but there's just a hint of winter on the air.
Teal?
Yeah, you could say teal. You don't know what that means, Jay. You know you feel different. You feel powerful as you've always felt, but it feels as if somewhere back in the day, something changed. And you're a little closer to the Fey Wild than you were before you started. We'll see how that manifests.
Are you feeling okay, Jay?
A little cold. I'm fine beyond that.
You're looking a little blue around the gills there.
And you're looking a little short around the height there.
Touche.
It has been a long adventure. All of you make your way back to the island proper, walking down the trails. You are not greeted by the large sort of welcoming party that you were anticipating. You still get pleasant nods and hellos from people that have seen you, but you're not being swarmed. Where would you like to go? Are we headed back to the inn to rest for the evening? It's very late in the evening.
I want to see how Wolf is doing. I know he'd gotten injured and everything, and wanted to check on him, and would probably actually cast Speak with Animals again just to check in with them.
Sure. You give a whistle, and he's not too far away, and he comes over towards you, but he's limping. And he says, "Rest now."
Yes, you did great tonight. I just need to tell you that, bud. You were awesome out there.
Everyone come home.
We all came home, and you were so much of that and making that happen. Thank you.
I think he will go to walk away, and then instead he will turn his head back and just stand next to you as if to say, "I'm going to stay wherever you stay tonight and not go into the woods."
I actually am thinking of heading. What's the beach like around here?
The beach is actually fairly pristine. You're not going to see a touristy beach, lots of white sand and things of that sort. There's a few areas where you'll see that pristine sand, but for the most part, it's sort of that greenery that just turns into sand. But you could find some comfortable places and sleep by the water.
Yeah, I turn to the guys and goes, "Hey guys, I think I'm going to head down to the beach and maybe camp it out there."
All right. Be safe. I mean, still a new place. Don't know what's going on here. Good luck.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Warm.
Jay has trouble peopling, and it's just like, I think this is that moment where like Jay goes in for a pat and that doesn't know what to do with his hands, and it's just like high five, like. Yeah. Turk, I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. I think you find a comfortable spot next to the beach, where you and Wolf set up for the night, and just he curls up right next to you.
Excellent.
Was it fairly obvious to us that Wolf wasn't
in tip-top shape?
Yeah, he's doing the odd, like canine walk with the foot raised. As soon as he settles down, though, he just doesn't get back up.
I'm gonna look to Jay. Do we think? No, not Jay. I'm gonna look to Turk and say, do we think that I might be able to help any, or do we know if that would work?
If you could give it a try, I think that would be excellent. I don't know what will happen. I really don't. But
All right, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm
Okay.
gonna see if Cure Wounds does anything.
Sure. Yeah, you rest your hands on top of him. There's a hesitant look up towards Turk,
to which I give him a nod. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
and he turns back towards where you are and lets you.
I'll put my hand out and let Pup sniff, and if it's okay, then I'll try it.
Yeah. What level do you cast it on?
First level.
First level. Yeah. The magic takes hold, and you see some of the wounds around his leg, in particular, begin to heal up, and there's even a little yip of excitement as as Wolf is feeling a lot better.
Oh, good.
Can you? How
I
much
do a
did
quick
you heal
thank
for?
you and go in for a hug and hug.
Oh.
I can't even remember her name all of a sudden.
Cass.
Cass. Thank you, Cass, and I give her a big hug.
Hug, great big hug. What were you asking, though?
How many hit points was it again?
I hadn't done it. 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Yeah.
Nice.
He's doing much better.
Make a note.
Where does everybody else head?
Feeling tired. I think I'm gonna head over to the inn.
Yeah.
I am all about a long rest at this point.
Yeah. The four of you have rooms waiting for you. You see a very familiar sort of Warforged greet you behind the bar as you come in. There's not a lot of people in the bar tonight. You don't know why, but he waves and he goes, "Can I send anything up to the room for you all? Are you hungry, thirsty?"
Starving.
Starving. All right. Yeah. Are we thinking savory or sweet?
Anything not on a shish kebab. I'm done with things burned on steaks.
Nothing.
Oh!
Nothing savory. Got it. All right. Yeah. He's like, I'll be right on it.
Thank you. I didn't get your name. I'm Cass. What's yours?
Hi. Well, let me figure out what that name is. Because I wrote that down. My name, of course, is Terry.
Terry, a lovely name for a lovely Warforged.
Yeah, it's a joke. I thought it would be funny. Terry the Tomaton.
I love that. That's so clever.
Yeah. So
But wait, why not Tom?
Are we judging names now? Is that our new relationship dynamic? Like we're not. You just asked me what my name was.
I don't think we're there yet, but we'll get there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You can call me Tom though.
I'll call you Terry.
All right. That's better. Yeah. I'll send some food up your way. Anybody else need anything?
Actually, kind of cold. If you could send up a couple extra blankets to mine, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And he will. He'll sort of motion his hand off to the side, and as he does, there's a couple of little goblins that will start shuffling off and making their way around, disappearing to a back room. And one of the goblins comes out, and he's sort of covered. You can't even see through the blankets. He's got to like poke his hand through and sort of peer through the blankets that stack up, and he just like lines up behind you.
Cool. Thanks. And I'll head up.
Yep. You all settle down for a long, long rest. as you settle down for a rest, go ahead and mark that down on your character sheet. Mark down that you are back up to full health. Some of you need it. Mark down that you are back up with hit points, and that long rest should kick off your level up as well. As you wake up, on each of your doors, as you all wake up and make your way about in the morning, I don't know which of your characters are morning people. And Jay is definitely not. Kiara is. Crystal?
Yes.
Are you a morning person?
Sure.
Cass, what about you?
There is a very special reserved yellow energy drink in her game day backpack that she's going to whip out and crack open.
Yes.
There's a lot of chemicals in that. Are you aware of how many chemicals are in those? Honestly, you would be better drinking a big giant glass of water with lemon. Lemon really gets the system going.
She's just going to chug it.
Not only does she chug it, but she makes prolonged eye contact with you as she chugs the yellow Red
I'm
Bull.
not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh.
Ooh, whoa. So there is a note on each of your doors when you wake up in the morning. Unfortunately, there's one on Turk's door as well because they didn't think that he would be sleeping outside. So it's up to you if any of you grab that note. But it is a note from the island's artificer. He's calling himself the Agent, and he is saying word of your deeds has spread, and that as a thank you from the people of the island and the council, you've been granted each a token for the fantasy Gashapon machine. Attached to the letter is a round gold token that almost looks oversized. It looks like an oversized arcade token, about yay big, but it's even got the ridges.
Like a Plinko puck?
Like a Plinko
From The Price is
puck.
Right?
Exactly the size of a Plinko puck. That's the analogy I should have used. And so you each have received one token for the Fantasy Gashapon, and are given directions to the Agent Artificer.
Not aware that this is going on. I can see Turk is probably fairly early riser, but he's going to look out to the ocean, and he's thinking about taking a swim.
I think as you wake up, unfortunately, you may not be an early riser, but Wolf is. So as you look out towards the ocean and think about going for a swim, Wolf is nowhere to be found. But the water is still calling out to you.
And just a quick glance, see if I can see him. If not, I'm going to go ahead and take off the shirt, kick off the flip-flops, and go dive into the ocean.
It's cold, buddy. It's cold.
I'm used
water.
to the Pacific.
Yeah, and you step in and you're like, I think you pull the Anna from Frozen. I think it's that cold, like as you walk in the water. But it's brisk, wakes you up. It's
Polar bear today.
It's totally the Turk thing to do. In fact, take DM inspiration for that one, buddy. That's a totally Turk way to start the morning.
I will take that. Thank you.
Right.
I'm going to grab Turk's note before we leave.
Okay, good. You grab his token as well.
Yes.
But I won't be long. I'm assuming before 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'll be heading back.
Jay's not even up at that point. As you make your way over to the building, and Cass is trying to look for any sort of recycling bin that she can throw this yellow can of Red Bull away.
I didn't say that was specifically colored large creature. I just said it was yellow.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever yellow
But it is.
energy.
It totally is.
Okay, I know you well enough. Yeah, it is. But you all meet up. Even Jay, who just sort of stumbles downstairs, and that blue color on his skin is gone. He's warmed up over the night. He's back to his normal green shade.
Looking better there, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep all right? Yeah. Okay. How's everybody else doing?
in the most natural that Atavistics has ever looked. He gives this big yawn, but just sort of smiles and waves at everybody.
I'm gonna bounce over to Turk and be like, "Hey, there was something on your door, and it looks like this, and there was a note, and this is yours. We all got one, but this is yours."
Oh, cool. Do you hand me the note as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And we're all
I'll read the note and get caught up with the whole artificer. So is that where we're headed?
I think so. Is that where we're headed?
We could try and find Will or William, whatever.
I think you need caffeine first.
Actually, breakfast wouldn't be the worst idea.
I had breakfast. It was in a little yellow can.
No. You had chemicals. You should have breakfast, like maybe some fruit or something. Maybe granola.
Is yellow fruit?
Color.
Yellow is the color.
Is orange a fruit? Oh.
There are
orange is the fruit, and a color, and a smell, and a taste.
Fine, let's get breakfast, and then we'll go see whatever this guy is.
There are any number of breakfast places open. There's actually a small temple that's that's handing out pastries, breakfast sandwiches, and cups of coffee for free. All of the followers are standing outside of the temple itself, and it's a little ways walk, but you see the majority of the people walking in the streets, walking towards this ornate temple in the religious district of the island. And people just walk up, they say hello. Some of them drop a few coins or a little bit of money in a drop box, but the order hands out these pastries and coffee and breakfast sandwiches to all those that seek it.
What order
seek
is it?
It's the Order of the Celestial Deer.
Could you say the last word again?
Sure, the Order of the Celestial Deer.
That's what I thought you said.
Their symbol is odd. It's a mermaid, but it's the top half of a mermaid. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Celestial star. Dear.
I'm going to, as this is going on, if we're in a clump.
I finally got it. Thank you. I finally got it.
The Order of the Celestial Deer has a very long line, but the the Celestial Deer welcomes all those who would seek it out, and all of their people start handing things away. Cass, what are you looking for?
I was just going to get on the other side of our little group as far as I could, away from Crystal, because I didn't want to hear about the chemicals again.
Okay.
So we're going to be like on opposite sides of the bubble of our moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking if there was a sandwich without meat.
You see a dwarven man who hands you.
There's no such thing as a sandwich without meat.
A muffin? Just like a.
One more question. I don't mean to be a pain, but is this butter or margarine?
I think it's butter.
Are you sure? Because there's a big difference.
Would you like the sandwich without meat? You're looking for a breakfast sandwich without meat?
Did you know that margarine has been banned in like a whole bunch of European countries?
Oh God, you're one of those. Flour, and you see this dryad walk over with a tabard, and she's like, "Hey there, sister."
Hi. I'm trying to approach this with as much love as I can.
No. You approach with love, and I will approach you with love as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be super, super peaceful here and just get something.
I'll take her
that has
meat
no
on my
meat
sandwich.
and no margarine.
The complete antithesis to flour is this dwarven man who walks forward and goes, the Noah's Ark special, 2 of every meat. I got you, brother. And he reaches in and grabs just a massive sandwich and hands it to Turk and hands you a large coffee.
So Turk is sponsoring the vegetarianism of Crystal.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's my friend.
Got it.
Yes.
Flower and Crystal have a long discussion, and they settle upon a completely organic, non-GMO flaxseed muffin and an imitation egg sandwich.
Thank you.
Jay,
Somewhere,
look at her
someone
meal.
muttered something about my.
Can I leave a friendship bracelet with her because she and I have bonded?
You can, but she has already knit you a scarf. So as you hand over the bracelet, a scarf is given to you.
What was her name again? I need to write this down.
Flower.
Flower. Flower. Thank you.
Jay, as you look at her meal,
That looks like sadness.
Careful, you're turning blue again, Jay.
It's the anti-sadness of all the creatures that didn't die to make it.
I then grab 2 of everything that the dwarf is handing out.
yeah. The dwarf is ecstatic that he's able to do this right next to Flower, and takes no end of joy of being like, oh, another meat sandwich for this guy right here. Oh, would you like double the meat? Yes, here you are, Flower. Excuse me. Look, and he just keeps looking over at her as he passes the sandwiches to Jay and Turk. You've met Oswald. Oswald the dwarf. And everyone is breakfasted up. Okay. You start making your way as you begin to walk past, away from the religious district, back towards where some of the shops of the island are, moving towards more of a less of a mercantile district and more of like an artisan district. Lots of people out and about setting up shops of homemade goods, candles, bits of armor, and things of that sort as they begin to set up shop for the day. However, amidst all of these ramshackle, still nice looking buildings, there is a building of sleek design. It is white brick. Every flower that seems to be planted out front is planted in its proper place, and there is a paved walkway from the front to a steel door. The building stands out amidst all of this sort of warm decor and area expanding around, but it does say the agents.
What color are the flowers?
The flowers, in consecutive order from the back, are white, purple, yellow on both sides.
How well are they tended?
Extremely well. Give me a investigation check.
That's a 9.
They're really cool.
I'm really gonna look at them.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Not only that, but you think that you're not quite sure, but you think there's the exact same number of flowers in every single section.
If we dilly-dally waiting out here long enough, deciding whether or not to go in for more than, say, 5 minutes, I'm going to start counting them.
Okay. I think there's a bit of a, push to go inside. I don't want to speak for the group.
I'm heading up to the door. I didn't even notice the flowers, probably.
I'm more curious as to what kind of flowers they are.
Sure, give me a nature check.
Because that's kind of my thing. I like flowers.
I like flowers.
That is... Oh, what's my Where are you? Oh, I'm the only druid with a +0 to nature. That's 18.
Okay. You are looking at these flowers, and which ones are you looking at first?
The white ones.
The white ones, you know plant life. You do. You really do, and you studied plant life a long time. You don't recognize these at all. They are not common to any period of time. In fact, the only ones that do look common to you are the purple ones. that are just a very beautiful lavender. But
So are you going to start a conversation up with them, or are we going inside, guys?
I think we should go inside.
Yeah,
I mean, the flowers are very beautiful and they smell amazing, but we should probably go inside now.
let's go.
Upon opening the door, you hearken back to simpler times. Times of childhood, where your parents would drag you to the grocery store or the pizza parlor, and before you would be a circular machine filled with odd capsules inside, and you would beg, plead for 25 cents, please, in order to use the machine, because you didn't know what secret treasure would fall out of it. Think this on a grandiose level. As you walk into this building, there is a large, almost glass tank in front of you, with capsules ranging from all different sizes to small, as in like the size of like a tiny piece of jewelry, larger ones that may look like maybe the size of a person or a little bit below that. And there are some in there that seem to be smoking, as little tiny wisp of smoke begin to leak out from the capsule itself. There is a simple counter, which seems to be positioned next to a chute with a metal door that could open up, and a space for you to place a token. There is a small bell that you would ring to summon a concierge or something along those lines on the counter, but there is no one in the room.
I'm going to take a quick look around, see if there's anything else that jumps out at me.
Sure, give me a perception check or an investigation as you look about the space.
Oh, yeah, that's a high roll.
Okay.
6 plus 7. That'll be a 13.
13. It's a very sparse room. Like I said before, you do notice a chair and table set up in the far corner of the room as if someone walked in with a token and they had a guest with them. There's some odd magazines laying on the table. I say magazines as you stumble over to them. A 13 is enough. They're old comic books.
Any that I recognize?
Did you watch Scooby-Doo?
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Turk, you see old issues and newer issues, but they all are detailing the adventures of the team with the mystery machine.
I actually am going to sit down and start flipping through the mag, having totally forgot about the coin in my pocket.
I built the perfect trap for you all. Flowers out front and comic books inside. As Turk sits down at the table and starts flipping through old comic books that seem dog-eared and earmarked, as if someone has read through quite a few of them.
Seeing the coin in my hand in that coin slot, I rush forward and I start turning.
Okay, as you
dial.
come forward and your hand crosses over the counter, there is a, I'm coming in a minute. God, jeez, wait. And a gentleman will walk out and he's got a cup of tea in his hand and he goes, just wait a minute. God, hello, Reginald Thomas Kincaid III here. Welcome to the Agents Artificers. Running this for a dear friend of mine who has done a favor for me in the past, but here we are. You are a tad gung-ho, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a spiel. Do you want me to read this spiel? You just okay, let me do the spiel. I promised him I'd do the spiel, so let me do the spiel. Welcome. Place your token in the slot and turn the handle. Any item or items that fall out belong to you and you alone. We trust in fate that she will have a hand on what items you receive. Throughout your adventures, should you find an item that you are unable to use, you are welcome to bring them here. That's how we restock the machine, and you will receive a Fantasy Gashapon token for yourself to use, hopefully finding another item that might suit you or your traveling party better. Once again, We trust in fate that the right item is for the right person. Understood.
Halfway through his spiel, I was twisting the knob.
All right, that's perfect. That's what he's looking down at the paper. I don't think he notices at all. Jay, let me pull up your list right now. I had a lot of fun making this.
This is so exciting. For the record, while you're doing that, I wrote down inside huge gashapon place. Wee.
Okay, Jay, give me a D20, please.
14.
Did you drop it on the guitar?
Oh my
That's
god!
what
Yeah,
it sounded like.
Big old metal
Oh,
dice.
dude.
Goodness gracious.
14. Oh no, you rolled a 14. Oh, that's actually really good.
Oh,
I think you'll like this. No, I think you'll like this. So a decently sized package comes out. It's huge, buddy. And as it falls out and comes through the slot, it is there. And as you walk over towards it, as soon as your hand touches it, the capsule opens. Before you is a massive great axe. It's adorned with intricate wrought iron details, and some of the pieces are like slowly clicking and moving on the axe. So this is the Clockwork Great Axe. Okay, it is a +1 bonus to attacks and damage rolls. You can find this in inventory. You can add this to your character sheet right now. Additionally, on the back of the axe head, there is a small pointed knob with 4 colored gemstones above it. The colors are red, blue, green, and yellow. You can use a bonus action to switch the knob from one position to the next, pointing at a different gem. When you roll damage, you get to roll an additional 1d4 elemental damage, and you choose what you want the elemental damage to be. So red equals fire, blue equals cold, green equals necrotic, and yellow equals thunder. So you're going to do some extra damage, but you're going to get to choose which one you want to do.
Very cool.
All right. Yeah, that was a good one for you.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Who would like to go next on the fantasy?
What was W?
What was W?
Yeah.
Red, fire, blue, cold.
White was
green, necrotic, yellow, thunder.
Yellow thunder. I just wrote it down.
Cool.
The Clockwork Great Axe. Let me know if it should be in your.
Yeah, I've got it.
You got it? Awesome.
Kaz is gonna run over and be like, "Ooh, pretty."
Yeah.
What's that?
Who would like to go next?
I'll put in the coin.
Crystal, give me a D20.
Ba, ba, ba. 6?
Question mark?
I don't know if that's good or bad.
There's no. It's not like lower. I put because I spread them out evenly. Okay.
Oh no!
You
I am
find-
clipping that face.
Now I'm worried.
You inside the gashapon, it's a small size, but it looks like it's about mid-size. Is a small black and yellow striped bag that is 3 inches in width. Legend speaks of an item that has only been heard of in tavern stories called the Bag of Bees.
Bees?
Upon opening the small pouch, you roll a d8. No matter the outcome, the opener can control the bees for 9 minutes. However, if all the bees have not returned to the bag by 9 minutes and 59 seconds, the bees go insane and they attack any living character or NPC. If this occurs, roll a d20. If you roll a 1, the bag turns into a bee and then mixes in with the swarm. So the stats for the bees are all included. On a 1, you roll a d8 every time you open the bag. On a 1, a small handful of 10 bees. A 2, a large handful of 20 bees. 3, a small cloud of 30 bees. 4, a large cloud of 50 bees. 5, a giant cloud of 80 bees. 6, a giant cloud of 100 bees. 7, a gargantuan cloud of 350 bees. And then on 8, 1 bee flies out of the bag and then instantly grows to the size of a horse.
Oh my god! This is like that Reddit question.
I feel like this was the thing I was meant to get all along from the beginning of my playing TV forever and ever.
All right.
From the beginning.
The beginning.
But
beginning. I just got it.
Eh.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
This is in DDB.
Should be in there. The bag
Okay.
OBs.
It's called Bag O. Oh, I see it. Bag OB. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's up next?
Oh my gosh.
Hearing that squeal, I think Turp probably just looked over the top of his comic book and maybe heading over there to see what's going on.
All right.
Finger in the page, though. He doesn't want to lose his place.
No, that's important.
What's the floor here like?
The floor? It's like a white. Let's say it's like a white tile.
Cass is laying down on the floor.
You're laying down on the floor?
On her stomach with her feet up.
Why?
She wants to watch.
Oh, okay. That's really sweet. Yeah, Cass just lays down on the floor and begins to watch as everybody like looks at.
She's got her chin in her hand.
Yeah, she's just got her chin in her hand, and she's just sort of watching. Who would like to
go next?
You'd like to go next? Okay. Give me a D20, please.
Absolutely. That is a 4.
Okay. Guess we're rolling low. It's not bad. Hang on. 4. Okay. Ooh, okay. Another decent sized pack. Another decent sized like looking thing comes out of the fantasy gashapon machine. Oh, I think you're gonna like this. It is huge. It's almost like a duffel bag, and as it like falls through, and as you get close to it, you touch it. This is druidic wooden armor. So what this is half plate armor, but it's all made of wood instead of metal, and it's covered in druidic symbols. Since it's made of wood, it's lighter. It only weighs 25 pounds instead of 40, making you able to wear it and not have disadvantage on stealth checks. When you wear this armor, it applies the normal half-plate AC. However, when you wild shape and merge with the armor as part of the change, you can choose whether to use the AC of the beast or the AC of the armor. So you're given the choice between the two. You can use you have to use the dexterity modifier of the beast when determining the AC. But you now have the option no matter what creature you wild shape into. Cool?
Yeah.
I'm going to step over Cass and going to go put my token in.
All right, buddy. Give me a D20.
Another low one. 5.
Oh, bud, I was hoping you'd get this.
Oh, I love hearing that.
It's a small package. It's not jewelry size, but it's like basketball size. And inside the bag are 2 collars. One looks like a necklace, and the other one looks like also like another simplified necklace. They're just black material, but on the underside of them are arcane runes carved into them. These are the paired collars of telepathy. This collar creates a limited telepathic link between 2 wearers so that they can communicate telepathically through the link, whether or not they have a common language or not. So through the link, both users can share words, images, sounds, and other sensory messages with one another. It's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. But that doesn't include trees. It's just got to be like buried. But you immediately think of Wolf. And now you guys will be able to share a telepathic bond with one another and speak to one another, whether he's surveying or running around.
That is way cool.
Hey, dude, will you wear this matching collar with me? Wow, I was so proud of this item.
I am excited.
That is really awesome.
In fact, I step out to the door and
Yeah, he comes trotting over. It takes attunement, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But both of you will be able to attune to this item, and both of you will be able to communicate telepathically with one another.
Is Wolf still limping at all?
No, he's up to full health.
Perfect.
All right, last but not least.
Cass is going to get up, kind of look in everyone's eyes, check. She's going to walk the perimeter of the room and just touch everything. Just like open palm, like kids do as they walk down hallways.
Reginald would be like, please don't. Please.
Sorry.
You're leaving fingerprints and all sorts of manner of things. Can you just put your coin in the slot?
Fine.
Put
and she's going to put a finger in her nose and put a finger out, and she's going to spin.
No. All right, fine. Do it.
And spin and spin and spin until she gets dizzy and stops and points at something.
Okay.
For a 12.
12. God.
Oh no.
No. I was torn whether I wanted to put this in. I think you'll love it. The tiniest capsule so far falls out of the fantasy gashapon, and it's really littles. It looks like an actual like a gashapon, like almost like a token that you would find. Yeah, it's about that big. As you get close to it and touch it, it's a lustrous, translucent pink bead, about an inch in diameter, which squishes slightly when pressed between one's fingers. This is marked in the D&D Beyond as the pink bead. When you smash this bead on the ground, it immediately turns into a huge mountain of fluffy bunnies, similar in consistency to a mass of fused marshmallows. It can cushion a fall or block a hallway. It expands to an area of 10 feet high and 10 feet in diameter. It can be cut through with 6 slashing attacks, and it lasts 1d6 minutes. This says consumed with use, but I'm going to make this once per long rest. The pink bead can be used. The quote associated with it is, "By the gods, not again," thought Malvazar, as he remembered too late the bead in his back pocket, which was now rapidly expanding.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
So the pink bead is now yours.
Hey, Billy, what's the name of the necklaces, the collars?
The paired collars of telepathy should be on there.
Awesome.
You all have a successful. Actually, let's do this. I want to give Mike something to play with. Who wants to roll for Mike so he can attune to it? Jerry, you want to roll for Mike?
Yeah. 12.
William, who's caught up with the group, and a medium-sized package comes out. It's a soft velvet bag, and it's actually called Todd's Thinkin' Sack.
Oh,
God.
If you put this bag over your head, it eliminates all sensory input, allowing you greater introspection and mental focus. And it gives you advantage on all wisdom and intelligence rolls while the bag is over your head. But you gain the conditions of blinded and deafened. But it's great for any up-and-coming DM who's looking to strategize and remember past lore.
Forget about the stupid stuff that your party is doing right in front of you. You just
Anytime you guys do something, he's going to throw on Todd's Thinkin' Sack and over his head. And
that is so perfect.
All right. Todd's Thinkin' Sack. I'm so glad.
Oh, guys, I just read the description for pink bead, and it's fluffy bubbles. My head heard fluffy bunnies, and I was way excited for bunnies.
Have said, oh, I thought it was bunnies too. Is it bubbles?
I think it is bunnies.
Can it be bunnies now?
Smash! It turns into a huge amount of fluffy bubbles.
He definitely said bunnies.
It's
Yeah.
bunnies. It's way too funnier if it's bunnies.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the little peeps. The pink
Yes,
peeps.
like the marshmallow
That's
bunnies.
exactly
okay.
what I.
Let's make it so they're not alive. We'll a fluffy bunny like.
Marshmallow bunnies.
Are they edible now too?
It's up to Cass.
It takes 1d6.
We're asking Cass, the candy lady, if her fluffy bunnies are edible.
They're not only edible, but they also drop very annoying sugar behind them. I don't know. Maybe. Sure.
They
it'd be edible.
poop sugar. Hello, impish soul. Yes, we're gonna.
Wait, what?
They're gonna change that to bunnies, not bubbles. So you get a little like a mountain of little fluffy bunnies hopping about.
So stoked.
Yeah. This is an item that I think Thistle would use almost immediately. So yes. All right. That is your time at the Fantasy Gashapon. Reginald
Awesome.
Thomas Kincaid bids a farewell to everyone and heads back into the storeroom to keep closing Fantasy Gashapon items and cases. You hear the faint click, click, click as he takes the capsules that you all use and starts putting new items into them, and then climbing a ladder and dropping them from the very top into a large container.
Can I borrow this, Mr.
What?
Kincaid?
What? I'm sorry.
I'm halfway through. Just wonder if I could finish it. Maybe bring it back later.
Yes, that's fine. It's an inside joke anyway. Yes. Bring that back when you'll finish, please.
Thanks. I'm gonna grab one more too, because
I think he's already away. So feel free to grab a couple of them as you take comic books and shove them into your case, which is so funny to me because you have this new magical item and you're like, can I get a couple of these? Are these for free or? William catches up with the group and is sort of admiring his bag, his thinking sack, and checking it out, and he goes, the overview of the mission went really well. We apparently made a lot of people very happy with what we did. So, and that's all thanks to you all. It was unconventional. There wasn't really a plan, but you did it. So, take the day. I have it on good authority that the island will be moving later this evening. So take the day, explore. I'm going to go and do a little bit of research and try to figure out and get ahead of our next step, and we'll talk soon. I know it's a lot, finding out that Gary was my dad, but we'll talk about it. I need time to figure out what I want to say. So, I'm really proud of you guys.
You know, William, that kind of makes us almost brothers.
For somebody that's been as lonely as I am, I will take that. All day, every day. And he just walks forward and just wraps you in a big hug. Like just one of those big William hugs where he just holds on, and it even goes on a little longer than you like. He just rubs the back. It's the circles on the back.
I've had William hugs before.
Yeah. And then he breaks away and he's got a few tears in his eyes. And he goes, "Man, I needed that." But yeah, do you guys have anything in particular that you're looking for that maybe I can point you in the right direction before I go and dive into my room of maps and planning?
Actually, yeah. I'm wondering if maybe I should be wearing stuff as we leave more than my shorts and my flip-flops.
Oh,
should we?
Yeah, I would head back towards the Mercantile District. They've got a lot of clothing stores, and there's even some secondhand stores that you'll be able to find some new digs in, and so you're not walking around in board shorts all the time. So,
okay,
yeah, right down that way, back the way we came. So, Anybody else looking for anything in particular?
I need a piece of string, like a sturdy one.
Okay. Can I ask why?
It's gonna hold a pink bead,
Oh God, why do you need string?
so I can wear it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
pretty.
No, it's really pretty.
And bunnies.
You're not worried about like accidentally like
Being surrounded by bunnies.
Fair enough.
Marshmallow bunnies.
Okay. I ask a stupid question. I will. I will take care of this for you. I will find you a decent container for your bead.
Okay. I thought it was like just to put it on a string kind of thing, but a container's cool too.
Well, I don't want to drill through the bead to. I was thinking maybe like a little like case for the bead. It's
like
it's
a setting.
like a
for necklace.
solid.
That could be pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad you and Turk hugged. I mean, thank you. I'm gonna.
Okay. And he sort of like starts walking the direction that you all are walking, and then
no.
This is the worst thing ever, and then turns around and just walks the opposite direction.
String? You asked for string? Okay, if that's not okay, that's just got to be the cutest, most adorable thing I've ever heard.
I thought it was a bead, and I could.
Not like a capsule. She thought it was like a bead.
It's apparently a marble. I thought it was a bead.
Like a pearl.
While you all are walking away from the fantasy Gashapon, and we are enjoying this interlude, a time of rest to explore the island, I need everybody to give me perception checks, as two things happen around the same time.
Now that was a roll.
Frickin' see.
Cass.
Was not on the right screen. Pass me. Be right back.
Nope, that's right. Jay.
22.
Perfect. Turk.
26.
Yeah. Crystal.
14.
14. Kiara.
Same.
18.
18. I would say my high rollers, anybody above an 18, you see a figure that has stopped what they're doing and has stopped moving about the space, and they're just tossing cats behind them. Just it's just weird. They're picking up this kitten and tossing it. They've stopped what they're doing and they're staring at Cass.
Who's probably texting.
Who's probably texting.
Or trying.
This figure is. It's an anthropomorphic sheep. It's a sheep that's standing up on two legs, but it's got this this white, fluff. It's wool, and it's very well taken after. It's holding a walking stick, and it's wearing a cloak. His name is Sean now. Sean the sheep. Sean the sheep is just staring at Cass.
Okay, I'm looking at Sean, and then I'm looking at Cass, and I'm going to look back at Sean.
Jay's a little distracted. As Jay, you're standing there, and you and Turk hear off in the corner the sounds of combat coming from the island. It's the clanging of sword upon shield. And it's one of those moments where you're walking in an area and there's that background noise, and everybody stops talking just for a second long enough for you to hear this commotion. It's coming from the north part of the island, away from the shops and things of that sort. It's just the sound of metal on metal.
Somehow that's got more of my attention than the sheep, and so I'm gonna start heading off north.
Okay. The sheep is standing there, but Jay breaks away from the group and starts just walking north. Nary a word said. Would
Jay?
Everybody else staying?
I'll follow him. I just want to know what's going on.
I'm following the bulk majority of the people who are in my peripheral vision.
I'm going to stop her by like grabbing her shoulders and like slowly lower the phone and then like tilt her head towards the sheep. You've got an admirer.
Who are you? Yes.
Jay, hold up a second.
And I'll stop in my tracks and turn and face the group.
Jay's doing the pee-pee dance, I think, as he like he's trying to like he's like looking over and he sees the sheep and he's like, "Cool, I'll wait." Like, who are you?
Cass, just like them, an adventurer, right?
He toddles over towards where you are. He's small in stature and he begins examining your clothes, picking up the clothes and sort of looking at them and like sniffing them and at one point he like takes your arm, your hand, and he like lifts it up and then it just naturally falls and he like motions you down and then he has you open your mouth. He's like, and then he just like looks inside. You don't do it. Like he still looks over at you as you like shut your mouth even tighter as he does, and he's just sort of like examining your face, and he stops and says, "You're a holy woman."
I had my wisdom teeth out when I was 20. Is that how you could tell?
He laughs. He goes, "No, you're a holy woman, but yet you have no one that you serve. How is this possible?"
Gus thinks about it and kind of puts the pieces together that before and now are two different times and kind of gives him a look and realizes what he's saying and doesn't really know how to respond, but most of it was kind of probably conveyed through the confusion.
Right. Well, we should fix that. And he'll
How?
hold out a hand to you.
I sniff it. And I'll take it.
It smells gamey.
Oh, maybe I don't take it.
And he will take your hand and start toddling over towards the religious district, somewhat close to where you saw the Order of the Celestial Deer. And Cass is being led away by the hand by Sean the sheep.
Damn it. Is he adamant on keeping my hand in his, or is it just like a...
No, I think as you continue to follow him, if you pull away, he's not going to make it awkward and be like, "No, you hold it here." Like, no, it's fine. But he begins to toddle off and doesn't say a word and just begins to walk slowly towards the religious district.
Now, did I hear this battle that was going on, or the sounds of battle that were happening?
Did, Turk.
Did it sound like actual battle?
It sounded like metal on metal, dude. It sounded like shield and sword.
It sounded like fun. Are we done with the sheep? I'm gonna...
Are you gonna be okay, Jay?
I heard metal on... It sounded fun. I'm gonna go check it out. You're more than welcome to come with me. I'll see you later, I guess. I don't know. And I just walk off.
Jay.
And Turk is gonna stand there looking in both directions, not knowing which way to go at this point in his life.
Sure. Kiara, where are you going? As two groups have left, and one is headed towards the clanging of metal and fighting, and one is headed towards the religious district.
Holding on to a sheep.
D&D, baby. Hashtag D&D.
Hashtag can't get better than this.
I look over at Kiara and I kind of point at her and point at Cass, and then point at myself and point at Jay. And
Jay's getting further away, and Cass is moving at a slower clip.
I don't think the sheep's going to bring any harm to Cass. Just a feeling.
Okay.
So
I'm not worried about harm to Jay. I've seen what he can do.
do you want to go protect the others then? Is that what you want?
I think I should go follow Jay.
Are you gonna make sure that I don't get fleeced?
You follow Jay, I'll go with her, and
Crystal?
Well, that's where we're going to end tonight's session, gang. There's really... Are you happy? Are you happy with yourself right now? You realize that nobody is going to say anything funnier than that for the next, like, 30 to 40 minutes? Did you even think about that before you said that?
Now I'm all sheepish.
Okay.
Okay.
That was bad.
That was bad.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
gonna
save the sheep from Cass. You go save the people from Jay. And Crystal, you can decide which way you would like to go.
This is so bad.
I closed the website of sheep puns, you guys. Okay,
You
so
opened
you opened up the website of sheep puns.
Punpedia is a masterpiece.
Crystal, I need you to make a decision now.
How attached are you to your character?
I don't know. I don't want to ram the. Sorry, never mind. Okay.
I'm gonna.
You.
And we're done. I'm just.
I respect that.
So much for the Titanic tonight, guys.
Here I am trying to shepherd you guys into adventure, and like.
What's funny is I almost took Circle of the Shepherd, but I didn't.
Ooh.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been great. As you were just instantly drawn to the sheep.
And instead, we're in the world of.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a stretch,
yeah,
but you know.
But we all flock to puns. It's kind of just what we do.
This is the crook of the matter. Let's just keep moving.
That's true. Yeah. Crystal, what are you doing?
I've lost track of who I'm following.
Cool. Crystal sits down.
Last time I checked, I was following Jay. I believe I still am. I just
Crystal, Jay, and Turk.
in all the sheep puns, I got a little lost.
Yep, that's all right. Crystal, Jay, and Turk head off towards battle. Jay helping to sheepdog Crystal so that she stays in track with them, and they're just led off towards all of this adventure. Kiara and Cass, you stay with your sheep and make your way over towards the religious district. While you are walking through the city streets, you notice that you do have some of the larger temples in the area, and some of them are large in comparison. There are places like the Order of the Celestial Deer, some of the other larger deities. Bahamut has a temple. Even Tiamat has a temple here. It is not as large as the Bahamut. But as you begin to walk through, you notice that there are other places as well, tiny little gardens and shrines. The sheep, Sean, leads you towards the central area. The central area in the middle of the religious district is that of a compass. There is no needle in this compass, but it's to signify everyone's right to choose their path in this world. As you are led towards this compass, he looks at you, Cass, and pats the little fountain that the compass resides, the stone fountain, and Kiara, he pats next to him as well, and then looks at you, Cass, and says, "So what is it that you seek in this life?"
I'm sorry, there was sound that interrupted what you said. So what
is it you seek in this life, Cass?
Hmm. Not regret.
To
Again.
not regret. That is important to you.
Yeah.
All right. Do you hold true to protecting life? Do you seek knowledge? Do you hope to spread chaos wherever you step?
Mm, the first two, the second one, not a hope to spread, but sometimes it happens.
Accidental chaos.
It's
Got
kind
it.
of inevitable.
Understood and agreed. Cass, there are many gods that are worshipped here on the island, and Sean will outstretch a hand, a small, uh, white, like wool-covered hand, and sort of move about the area and say, there are many different gods. Some of them larger than others, and some of them just now making appearances. Ideals and thoughts that you hold true in your life. I encourage you to spend time here to take care of it. I maintain the grounds, and he points over to a small path. This small path winds around this large garden, and throughout the garden are just small shrines dedicated to some of the gods and goddesses that are not as well known and don't necessarily have the followers or the means to create such large sprawling temples. And he goes, my job is to take care of all of them.
It's beautiful.
Thank
But
you.
what do I do?
What do you mean?
Do I just wander?
Why, yes. Listen to who speaks to you. Knowing
Okay.
what you believe in, maybe one of the larger temples is for you. And he will point to a temple of people, and you can hear music echoing out from the walls. Um, he goes, this is the temple of Lahira, the goddess of joy. Uh, you see a symbol of a triangle of 3 six-pointed stars on a crest in front of the temple. And it's very large, and there are people dancing and playing music, and she is the goddess of joy. And where she goes, joy goes with her and her followers. Then there's this one. And he will walk over towards where the garden is, and there seems to be a brand new shrine that has been built. The shrine is odd looking. It's pieced together out of these gold bricks. These gold bricks have these beautiful flowers of a deep, deep emerald green growing around them. And there's a pair of old red tennis shoes that have been stacked by these gold bricks. This is this is one of the more recent shrines we've established here. This is the shrine of the Guardian.
And she's gonna kind of look at the shoes and is this there is there this is these are yellow technically they're yellow bricks, right?
I suppose they could be.
Okay. Wait, does that mean she's gonna start kind of just glancing around, seeing if anything else catches?
Yeah. Give me a perception check.
12.
Yeah, you begin to walk around the garden and just sort of look. Kiara, what are you doing during this time where Cass is sort of walking around and examining all these different spots?
I would be walking around too. Not like with her. I'd let her explore, but I'd just kind of be glancing at them as well.
Yeah. You see different shrines of different areas. There's one shrine that is it is a very simple tower that's built into the ground that goes about 12 inches from ground to the top, and resting atop this tower is a small gold ring resting on top of the tower. You see other smaller shrines dedicated to different deities and religions. One tower has a tattered book leaning up against it, with flowers growing all around it of odd geometric shapes, and wrapped around this book at the very base of it is a towel. With a stripe going down the middle of the towel, and it just seems to be this old tattered book with a towel wrapped around it. There are several other. You see a screwdriver that looks like it has bits of baubles and gems glued to it. Blue flowers growing around a small pedestal, with several other screwdrivers stacked around the tower. And as you begin to walk forward, you see a garden area that is divided into 4 sections, with yellow flowers, red flowers, green flowers, and blue flowers, and a very simple wand on a pedestal amidst these flowers. Almost as if they were 4 houses, 4 unique sections in the flower beds.
All right, is there anything that distinguishes these 4 sections? Like any, I don't know, color or animal or
I
something
did
else?
mention the colors. Yeah, I'm sure with enough studying.
With it, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed
Red
that part then.
flowers, green flowers, yellow flowers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Cass is gonna pull out her character sheet from her backpack.
Okay.
And she's gonna check her inventory.
All right.
And kind of start patting herself down after she sees what she's looking for. There's a holy symbol somewhere, some kind of amulet that she's written into her inventory for a deity that apparently she's not that connected to anymore. And she's gonna pull it out if she can find it.
Okay. You have a circular. Is it an amulet? Is it something you'd wear around your neck? Is it something you hold in your hand?
Yeah, it was this.
Right now, it's just a clear, round disc.
Look through it. Look around. See if anything works.
As you hold it over a spot for a little bit of time, the image becomes clearer on the disc, but as soon as you move the disc out of the way, the image disappears.
Interesting.
While Cass looks around and Kiara begins to look and enjoy the different areas set up and look for her own, we cut back to Jay, Crystal, and Turk. Jay has walked at a pretty brisk pace, hoping to outrun the sheep of his nightmares, and follow the sounds of battle. Jay, your blood goes cold as you get closer and closer to the sounds of the fighting happening, and as one of the fights ends with a loud you hear the pounding of drums in a celebratory cadence that seems to echo out of this small clearing. You come around the corner of this small clearing. This small clearing is a giant pit that looks like it has been dug into the island itself, and there are men and women and creatures of all different sizes and makes and gathered around this pit, staring down. And as you enter into the clearing, flanked by Turk, who is imposing in himself as he has Wolf with him, and then the diminutive in stature, but still no less frightening Crystal, all eyes dart in your direction.
Hey.
They all stop and look at each other, and a familiar face leaves the pit as Oswald walks forward and says hello.
Oh, hey, Meat Man.
I know these guys. They love meat. and there's a that's enough for us, and they all turn around and go back to what they were doing. Oswald goes, welcome to the pit. Is this your first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we come to worship our god.
In a pit?
In the pit. Yeah, the god of fighting and getting your blood amped up.
Is there, I mean, to each his own, and if that's what you enjoy, I mean, feel free, but is there a reason?
To fight and get your blood amped up. Is she new?
Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah, no, you never feel truly alive until you're fighting in the pit. Until you feel like you're at your lowest. That's when you feel your best. Because when...
Yeah, Jay, I'm going to let you take this one.
Crystal, in a burst of wild magic, disappears completely. It is both terrifying and you are awestruck by her capabilities in the arcane arts. But he looks over at Turk and goes, and what about you? Are you a fighter as well?
Well, not quite like my friend here.
Aye.
But I can hold my own.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all we ask, is we ask that you try your best. Are you interested in fighting in the pit?
What are the rules of the pit, Oswald?
He looks confused at the question. What do you mean?
Well, weapons.
Oh, aye.
Blood.
Oh, aye.
Death.
Oh, no.
Now, do you permit ranged, any type of weapon? Ranged? Could I use my bow?
Sure, if you wanted to be using your bow. You might want something a little more close quarters, but I'm not going to tell you how to wipe your butt.
Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, aye?
Is there any betting that goes on?
Betting? On the fighters? Who do you think we
Yes.
are, Master Turk? You think we're just hooligans that gather around a pit throwing gold at each other?
Why?
Oh, good. Yeah, you're in the right place, then. We definitely bet. There's nothing much else to do on this island other than run shops. Heck, I got into a little bit of a scuffle and they gave me community service.
Oh, yeah? What did you end up having to do?
Serving breakfast to idiots.
I'll tell you what, the Ark, that was a great sandwich.
That's my own invention.
Yeah.
I almost got fired for it. So, Turk, and what was your name again?
Jay.
Jay. Care to take a trip to the pit?
Now, do we go one at a time or as a group? I mean,
that's up to you, lads. I mean, if you feel like you need your binky to go into the pit and you want to hold hands, that's fine.
Oh my god.
But that just means two other folks are going to go up against you. So the choice is yours.
I don't know. I think I'd like to see a round first before I just jump in.
Oh.
Get a feel for it.
Sure, absolutely. And he starts walking towards this like crowd, and like I said, it's creatures of all different sizes and makes. But Oswald, even for a dwarf, manages to just start throwing elbows. You ever seen a mosh pit before? Like, Oswald clears a way to the front of this pit just by throwing elbows, but he's built at such a height that his elbows are hitting places you don't want to be hit at. So people tend to move out of the way fairly quickly as he's just shoving through. Make way, you lot. I got a couple of newbies. They want to watch the first one. And he's just like pushing people out of the way and scooting them out. One dude refuses to leave and just sort of stands in the way, and Oswald... he takes this hammer that he's got hooked into his side, and he's like, "Now you're not supposed to do this, but needs call, right?" and he just walks forward and hits this guy in the back of the knee. Like the knee collapses, he hits the ground, and he goes, "Sorry about that," and shoves him over to the side and makes a room for you two at the pit. Currently in the pit is a dragonborn. He is a blue dragonborn, and he's hopping from one foot to the other, and just sort of preparing for this battle. And you see a elven man who's just sort of moving about and saying, "Who dares challenge our champion? The great blue Dabu-Dee Dabu-Da, the Dragonborn. Who will step up and rise to the challenge?" And a lone voice from the back of the crowd goes, "You know what? I'll give it a shot." And a really pretty looking elf walks forward. He's got a sword strapped to his back, and he's beautiful long blonde hair. He's just sort of waving at everybody as he walks forward. Seems kind of out of place on this. And all right, lad, what's your name? And he goes, "Tristan." And he goes, "Lord Tristan, stepping up to fight Blue Dabu-Dee Dabu-Die."
I'm so upset.
Tristan jumps into the pit, and their battle begins. Tristan starts humming this song, and as he does, tattoos along his arm begin to ignite, and he begins. He takes a rapier out. The blue dragon is very fast, though. Begins to circle about, striking out at him a couple of times. He strikes out, and Tristan freezes for a moment, and the Dragonborn gets a couple of hits in below the belt, smacks Tristan in the face, and Tristan hits the ground, coughing up blood. The fight goes on for a good 10 minutes. Blow exchange as they seem to be fairly evenly matched as Tristan begins to cast and reach forward with his sword, but the blue Dragonborn is just too fast for him until Tristan catches an opening and immediately polymorphs the blue Dragonborn into a snail. And just sort of like, there's an odd look of confusion as everyone turns to look at the MC, and he goes, "Well, technically he's defeated, so the winner is Tristan." And Tristan sort of waves to the crowd and then passes out, falling face forward into the ground. As you see 3 or 4 Aarakocra float into the space and begin to heal the fallen warriors. With this fight ending, Oswald turns back to look at you, a big smile on his face. "So, what do you think?"
It looks like fun. I'm in.
He's in? Turk? Are you watching and betting? Or are you jumping in?
I'm watching and betting.
Hey, Turk. 10% of what you win. I got a challenger! And he walks forward, tries to grab Jay's hand and shove it up, but he's too short. So as he holds onto your hand, Jay, you just sort of lift your hand, and his feet dangle as he's holding onto the hand. And he's like, "This one right here. Send your biggest and your meanest." I got you, Jay. Your biggest and your meanest. He's been training for months, you said, Jay? You've been training for months?
Days.
Days he's beaten men into the dirt. That's how long his battles have lasted. And he shoves you forward towards the pit, Jay.
And I assume it's like a drop into it?
It is a drop into it.
I need to catch myself?
Give me an athletics check.
Probably.
As you go to catch yourself.
That's a total of a 15.
Yeah, it's an abrupt push, but you still manage to like land on your feet and look about the crowd, and then there's a pause as you land on your feet, and you just kind of like throw a hand up, and everybody's like, "Yeah!" You get a smattering of applause as everybody applauds the new kid, and then you hear the thundering of feet coming from the crowd as the crowd parts. And a contender strides towards the open pit. Let's cut back to Cass and Kiara.
As is kind of getting bored with looking through the holy symbol that doesn't have anything in it unless she stares at it too long. She's going to stick it back in her bag and actually going to stumble over the thing that she kept in her dice bag this whole time, but hadn't had reason to use dice lately because everything's real again. Well, now, and she's got a little memento from a book series she kind of fell into, and pulls out this guy and just flicks it absently and kind of wanders a little bit more.
As you begin to wander, the mechanism begins to turn, flipping over end, until you get to the small area with the 4 sections, with the wand in the pedestal.
Let's stop and look and linger and sit and think a little.
Give me a wisdom check.
25.
Books are powerful. Gary taught you the importance of stories, but you didn't need Gary to show you the importance of books. Books were able to transport you long before you became heroes, and long before you became the saviors of the realm and held Excalibur in your hand, or were able to do these amazing magical feats that you were able to do. Books were the things that taught you that adventure was possible. And there's something to be said about a book that doesn't compartmentalize people, but helps you understand that people are different. That heroes can be different from one another, and acknowledging the inherent strengths in each and every one of us. A book that helped teach you that magic is a tool. It does not define you as a person. Your actions define you as a person. And that there is such a thing as destiny and being chosen, but there is also something to be said about choosing to accept that destiny and the flexibility of multiple chosen. Of finding your people, of finding your tribe, finding your house, and being wise enough to branch away from it when it's time to. You understand the benefits of a book like that, a transportive book. And you understand on a fundamental level that that's all worship is. Holding true to ideals, something that means something to you. Be it a god or be it a name or a shrine, your power derives from your faith. Your faith that in the end of the day, good will win. That life deserves to be lived. And then no matter what happens, no matter how dark the night gets, that there is always a light. There is always a choice.
Cass is gonna wipe away the mist that's shown up somehow in all this pondering and thinking, and look around for Sean, probably, but dig out the amulet again and just sit down and hold it, maybe look through it a little bit, but eventually set it down.
Yeah, you know what?
On top of it.
It's as you sit there with this symbol, concentrating. The the flowers become a little bit more pronounced. You can smell them, and you're able to see a beautiful floating animal representing like above all these different flowers. As you begin to look through your holy symbol and spend time meditating in that spot, you can design your holy symbol, or I can choose one that I have in mind.
No, you.
Yeah. Triangle, circle in the triangle, and the wand in the circle.
That looks right. Looks familiar and it looks comfortable.
It's comfortable. It's simple, but it means so much more to all those who see it. You feel complete. Your spells have taken on a new life and vibrancy to them. I will send you the spell that you have picked up making this decision, because I have found or have been working on, since you and I talked, thinking you might go down this route, a homebrewed Patronus. So you will be able to cast a Patronus. So start thinking of what animal that you would like to be the form of your Patronus.
It's very silly, but I already know what it is.
Perfect. We cut back to this battle. As Jay stands in this pit, anticipating what may happen. Jay, for the sake of this battle, I'm going to say that you have attuned to your weapon. You've spent enough time with it. You spent a little bit of time while the sheep conversation was happening that you just kind of sat down and hurriedly like, come on. And you have attuned to this great axe. The crowd yelling and screaming and drawing the attention of everyone in it has gathered the attention of Kiara and Cass. And I will say that after you finish your time there, based on how long that fight took place and how long everything happened, you managed to gather around the pit as well. William, too, makes his way over, finishing with his work. A crystal standing at his side as if she had vanished off to go summon him, as this large figure begins to walk forward. It is a Goliath of a man. This Goliath is covered in odd arcane tattoos that dance upon his skin, and some of them float a little bit above it. He steps into the pit with just a large wooden club at his side. As he sees you and how tall you are, and that you are about the same size, he looks at you and he sees you just sort of standing there anxiously. He takes the club and flicks it back out above the pit and cracks his knuckles. And
1 second, sorry.
Built such
It
suspense.
sounds like the boss just came home.
Oh, how about this? Because I want Mike to be here for this, and we unfortunately were missing our buddy Mike. Why don't we end the episode right there? We'll pick up with the battle. We'll pick up with the battle, and then we will go right into Titanic as the ship lurches, as the island lurches to a halt in the icy cold waters. So we will do this battle. You can talk to the boss, and Mike can be here for this, and that's where we're going to end the very first interlude for the Lost Isle. All right? Thank you guys so much. Don't apologize. Thank you guys so much. I love each and every one of you. Be sure you have leveled up for next week and for this battle.
You're
And
level
then,
7 now?
No. This guy. Have your new items added to your sheet. We will see all of you soon. Indigo Connect. And hey, join us next week. Get lost.